Hi, this is Jay Rumble, host of The Block Party on Whistle FM. 19 years ago, my sister gave me the greatest gift of all, the gift of life. She donated her kidney to me as mine was failing. I am alive today because of organ donation. April is Organ Donation Awareness Month in Canada. Please go to beadonor.ca and register to be a donor today. That's beadonor.ca.
We're back on Freshwaves. I'm your host, Brent Masson. We're talking with Lisa, Nancy, Eric, and Robbie. Now, one of the things we were just talking about on the break, and I hate it when people say that. You know, you hear announcers say on this station and others all the time, well, when we were on the break, we weren't with you on the break, so the listeners are saying, who cares what you talked about? Well, we're bringing it on to the airwaves right now, is that appreciation for every day. Mm-hmm. And if you go on Facebook or Instagram or all of these social media sites, there's some cheesy picture of they're not so cheesy, but a little boy and his dog, and, you know, don't take life for granted, and angels floating in heaven and things like this, and don't take life for granted. And you can hear it 100,000 times, but until you've actually been there, until you've actually been there where you don't know if there's a tomorrow, right? You can't possibly know how precious life is. And Robbie, you had that, especially with your 2 bouts of you were dead.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty profound.
It is. You know, most days I wake up now and I realize I'm still here and can't believe it, and then I realize how beautiful everything is.
So you did wake up and smell the roses, so to speak.
I did, big time.
Yeah. So how did it feel when you woke up the second time? I mean, the first time must have been miraculous enough, but the second time I was like, wow.
I was in the middle of delirium, so it's a little sketchy, my memories. I couldn't decipher what was actually real and what wasn't. Mm-hmm. But after they took I can't remember what you call it, but it goes down in your throat.
The intubation tube, yeah.
Yeah, when they took that out and trached me, everything started becoming a little more clear. And I think it was the day they trached me and I seen everything a little more clear is when I started to really appreciate the fact that, man, I'm still here.
Yeah.
This is amazing. Mm-hmm. So I thought for sure that I was toast.
Yeah. So when Louis Armstrong says, hey, it's a wonderful world, is he right?
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Even when you face the challenges on a day-to-day basis, you just say it's still a good place to be?
Yeah. Once you get through the challenges, the good stuff's there waiting for you.
Yeah. And what about you, Nancy? Because that grief is just all-encompassing. I know people who say the first year is a complete blur. You don't even remember it. It's just awful every day.
It is. And I like to say that your world goes gray. Mm-hmm. There's no color in it. And then gradually, you get through it, and color starts to come back again, and the roses are red again. And you try to appreciate every day, too, because, you know, my son woke up with a headache, and by a few hours later he was gone. So no one really knows what's around the corner. So I just try to live each day and be kind to people around me. You know, and I think that's really important.
Well, I think that's the one thing you have to think about, too, is the people around you when things are happening. I mean, I was a bit apprehensive about this whole transplant business when I was getting ill. And it would have been easy just to say, no, I'm just going to let things happen and let nature take its course. Because, you know, you think about the other side. What if it doesn't work out, or you come through not so good on the other side?
Yeah.
And that's what I was apprehensive about. And I'm sure that's what you were too. And that's with me and Dawn coming and talking with you guys and having a bit of a support group. And that's where Dawn helped me, seeing somebody actually coming through on the other side. So I started thinking about, you know, why when I thought about my kids without a father, when I thought about my friends without a buddy, you know, that they can cut up and make fun of and all, like everything I do, and a goalie they don't, shoot at, they can score. Yeah. So, yeah, when we go down golfing, I'm the one they make fun of, and that's okay, right? But without me there, that wouldn't happen. So, essentially, I did it for everyone around me. I didn't do it for me. I did it for everybody else. And that's kind of the way I felt, you know, to go through with this thing. So now my kids have a father again. You know, my buddy's got another friend, and the league's got another goalie, another target, exactly. So that's that when I thought about it from that perspective and not from myself, that's what really made me say, okay, I have to do this. I have to do this. My wife will not have a husband.
That's
Right?
interesting you even thought about
So-
I didn't even think about it.
I didn't think that was
When-
the dying part was easy to me. I thought that's easy. I'll be gone. I'll be in no more pain. The pain
Right.
will be gone. You
Yeah,
know,
see,
the hardships will be gone.
Yeah.
I've
But-
also known people living on dialysis and whatnot, and I always thought, oh, that's not something I would want to do, so of course I would want to do the surgery. So I'm a little bit selfish maybe in that regards, that I just thought, okay, put me on the transplant list and let's get on with this. But
And Robbie, did you think about the people around you at the time?
I thought about my boys the whole time. The whole time. I think they're what really drove me to fight through that second round.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how old were they at the time?
Well, I'm only 7 months transplanted.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, 8 and 16.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm still fresh.
he's new.
He's a new transplant.
We call them
Wow, I didn't
Yeah.
realize it was so recent.
It'll be 7 months on the 18th.
Holy crap.
Holy
Wow.
moly. Like you're still at the stage where you count days.
Yeah.
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 Wow.
Wow.
That's amazing. Good for you. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So obviously you had the tattoo before you had the surgery.
Yeah, I've had all my tattoos before the surgery.
Which hurt more?
He was awake for the tattoos.
Tattoos, man, they don't hurt.
Yeah, you're a pretty furry guy. Those tattoos do hurt when you
Yeah,
yeah.
plus I'm furry from most of the shaving.
Yeah. Oh yeah, shave it off, have the tattoo, then
they,
it grows
they
back
shaved
again.
all this, and now it's just out of control.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Well,
But
from the drugs
it was
too.
minus 30 this winter, so you needed that extra
Yeah.
fur to keep you warm.
Yeah, give me more.
But the drugs
The rest of
too,
us are
right?
all
the
now
drugs.
jealous of you,
But some of the drugs that we take cause hair growth.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
which is okay in
another
a guy.
I never thought of
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Wouldn't be like your favorite thing to have happen,
No.
No.
but you are warmer.
I just wanted to say what you said, Eric, is very important, because the people around you, and those are the people that, if you're not there, are left, grieving. And I want to say that I know there's probably support groups for the recipients, but for donors, there's not, the donor
Right.
families, there's not as much. But we found a lot of help through the Bereaved Families of Ontario, York Region chapter, where you do get to meet
What is it? The bereaved?
Bereaved Families of Ontario.
Okay.
And there's a York Region chapter. The office is in Newmarket, and they have support groups. So you get to go in, groups and talk to people that have lost someone dear, maybe a child, maybe older people. But that is a wonderful support, because you are talking with people that are going through the same type of grief that you are, and that really helps a lot.
I can imagine, because all the different support groups, it's always great to talk to somebody who's going through or been where you are. And it's also nice for you, if you're several years out, to be offering some support.
It's true, yes. It's true. And you can see your own growth as you are that much ahead of someone else who's very fresh, the fresh pain, and to know that it will get better. Because at the beginning, you don't know that. You don't.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I imagine that's kind of where you are, is that you're just crawling out from this whole fresh business now.
Yeah,
It's a learning experience.
it is.
The first year is really a learning experience. I mean, I'll never forget that. There's so many things that it doesn't matter how much you read or prepare, whatnot. That's why I'm so big on my support groups. Not only your group support, but the Kidney Foundation has one-to-one peer support for recipients, donors, everybody in regards to that. And I think it's so important that us as transplant people especially, and I can't speak for donor families, talk to somebody so we know that, you know what, this isn't unusual to happen. This may happen to you, but not me. Or there's so many different scenarios out there. And I'm just such a big person on support groups. I'm like, whoa. Now, if you asked me 22 years ago, I was not. I didn't think I needed it. I didn't see the value in them. But I think because I've been sick as well, I have other illnesses. My diabetes causes everything else. I've had to give up working, and I've had to look for my passion and what I need to do with my life. So volunteering has become like a passion for me. So the Kidney Foundation is very close to me in regards to it's almost like a second family, I'll call them. And that's one of the big, I work on the, help out with the programs team, and that's one of the big things. Not only do we help financially patients that are going through struggles through blood pressure cuffs or transportation or emergency living. We're not paying for all their bills, don't get me wrong. We're trying to just help them get over that hump that they need to.
Right.
Maybe a medication that isn't covered. But I think the whole aspect, and starting that support group in Scarborough, it's just over a year now, is opened a lot of people's eyes to what it's all about, and we're there to help you.
So, JD, did you use these support groups? Were they a help for you in your situation?
Oh, definitely. Oh, for sure. I mean, I never even knew the York Region Gift of Life Association, so it's been great to, get out there and go to these different, talking about the Strawberry Festival and to meet the people that have had, kidney transplants and liver transplants, and now with, social media and Facebook and stuff like that, and going through my kidney issues now, it's been great to talk to people on Facebook that have gone through, because it's been a while since I've had a fistula, so I kind of forget what the fistula surgery was like. So it's great to ask people questions about that, and it's good to know that the Kidney Foundation is there,
and just the community in general. I think with Facebook and some of the social media, it gets a bad rap because there are a lot of negative aspects of it, but it always takes a community to raise a child. It takes a community to support other community members. And last week, when you needed a ride to go and get your fistula checked out, you put on social media that you were looking for a ride over to the York Regis Medical Center.
Yeah.
And someone from the community stepped up and said, "Yeah, my son's home. He's not doing anything this afternoon. He'll give you a ride." What?
I thought that was pretty cool.
That's just
great.
so neat.
Great.
Yeah.
Isn't that a cool use of Facebook? That's where Facebook really shines for something like that.
Oh, for sure, yeah. Because
Smart of you to use it. It wouldn't even have crossed my mind to do that. I mean,
Jay, don't you have a bowling event coming up?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, so we got a bowling event coming up on Sunday. It's our sixth annual Bowl for Life at the Richmond Hill Pro Bowl, put on by the York Region Gift of Life Association, and Sandra from CTA is going to be there as well. So
CTA is the Canadian Transplant
Transplant Association.
She's the Sandra we just talked to.
The Sandra we just talked to, so she's going to be there. So I believe they're still looking for some players to bowl. So if you're interested in bowling, you can check out York Region Gift of Life Association on Facebook. And there's Arlene Lindsay's. She's the head of our group, so you can contact her about bowling. We're also looking for different, if you want to help with the actual event that day. I'm going to be.
And what day is it?
On Sunday. April the 14th, and I'll
so
be.
if you're listening to this on Sunday,
and head on over right
go
now.
on over and go bowling.
Right,
Let's go bowling
in the afternoon at 3:00. So, and I'll be your MC for the day. Unfortunately, because of my fistula surgery, I'm going to pass on the bowling, but I'll be there to do the MC part, and it'll be a lot of fun. Then after that, if you want to join us, we're going to be at the Swiss Chalet over at the Young and Bernard Plaza there, just north of the bowling alley, for some Swiss Chalet.
So what are you doing on Sunday there, Robbie?
Nothing other than church.
No, and bowling.
You might go
And
bowling.
You're going to church and then home, and now you're going to church and bowling.
Okay.
They don't realize it's Master Sunday.
Oh, they'll have the Masters on at the bowling alley.
Probably true.
Or you can PVR it, or you can time shift it.
PVR the golf. Can you imagine? You'd already know all the stats
Oh,
and
yeah.
who won and everything, and now you're just watching a bunch of guys walk around the grass. It would be just so
Oh,
boring.
wow.
Actually, watching bowling to me is like watching grass grow. I just can't think of anything more boring. Except when it gets right down to that last little hole part. But, even then. That's the part of golf that always gets me. I do really well up until you get really near the hole.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like, okay, my under par turns into a plus 33, and I'm still working again. Oh, well. Anyway, I think that's why people have those little mini putting greens in their offices and stuff, right? Because that's the part you really have to practice.
Yeah.
What's your best golf game?
Well, I don't know, but the Canadians are doing really well.
Are they?
Yeah. So
You're going to join that team?
Corey Connors, he won last week. He got himself into the Masters, so It's great for Canadians. It's good for Canadian golf.
I think you should do the Transplant golf team.
Well, I might.
Why not?
I'm going to look into that.
Head over to the Fickle Pickle and work it all out.
Okay, there you go. That sounds like a plan.
The Fickle Pickle has had more advertising this
I
morning
know.
than in the entire history of their restaurant. Anyway, it is a good spot, and it's right there on Main Street, so I think we should use it as our new spot. There you go.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to take a little break because we have to, because that's what we do here. And when we come back, we'll be wrapping up the show because we're running out of time. And it's amazing how fast time flies when you're having fun.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we'll be right back. You're listening to Fresh Waves on Whistle FM.
Hi, this is Jay Rumble, host of the Block Party on Whistle FM. 19 years ago, my sister gave me the greatest gift of all, the gift of life. She donated her kidney to me as mine was failing. I am alive today because of organ donation. April is Organ Donation Awareness Month in Canada. Please go to beadonor.ca and register to be a donor today. That's beadonor.ca.
We're back on Fresh Waves. I'm your host, Bren Masson. We're talking with Nancy, Lisa, Robbie, Eric about organ donation awareness. We're going to start with you, Robbie. What would you like to get out as your one thing for today? What do you want to tell people during Organ Donation Awareness Month?
Donate.
Donate, save a life.
Absolutely. Save a life. Every donor is a hero.
Yeah.
My donor's my hero. Eric's my hero, too.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
But that's the message, eh? Just
Absolutely. It's
save a
worth
life.
it. Save a life.
Saved your life.
Yeah. I wouldn't be here right now.
All right. Eric?
Yeah, I mean, for sure. It's, again, we're trying to, when people are unsure about whether they want to be a donor or not, think about would you consider being a recipient? Like, if you got that sick, you needed a kidney or a liver, or would you say, no, I don't want to be part of that? Or you know,
Yeah.
right? So
It's a good way
you
of
want to be
thinking
part
about
of the
it.
whole thing, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're unsure about yourself, what about your kids, your grandkids? I mean, you'd want nothing but the best for them. So when you're thinking about organization, just think about the big picture,
The big picture.
right? Mm-hmm. So
Good words.
that's what I'd like to say.
Nancy?
I think that some people with a profession, doctors, firemen, paramedics, they get to save lives every day in their jobs. Not many of us get to do that. And Ryan's my hero. And I think a lot of people could be heroes. They just agree to be a donor.
Mm-hmm. Even the act of signing the card makes you a hero, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It does. Just
Absolutely.
that's right.
Mhm.
Be willing to donate.
Yeah.
And I something like you said earlier, but this is the version we have here. Don't take your organs to heaven, because heaven knows we need them here.
Yeah. All right.
What would I like to say? I think it's very important to speak to your family. I can't imagine, like Nancy's son, seeing his dad signing his driver's license and being aware of organ donation at such a young age. So I just want people to go home or sit down with coffee, whatever the time is most appropriate, and speak to your family and make them aware of your wishes in regards to organ donation.
Well, we're coming into a holiday season again, Easter and Passover, a time when families do get together. Quite a few families all over this country will be together. And maybe it is a time after dinner when everyone's sitting around the table and half the people are starting to fall asleep to wake up the conversation and talk about organ donation.
Very true.
Just make everybody aware. And you're not forcing your views down anyone's throat, but simply making them aware that it's an option, that there is something out there that they could do to make a bad situation better. And a bad situation on all accounts, right? It's never, ever easy to lose someone. But if in that loss you can help someone else to have a life that you wish your loved one had, isn't that a great thing? Jay, what would you like to say?
Well, as I was saying, I've been lucky enough to have a living donor, thanks to my sister. And I think anybody that's out there that's thinking about a living donation to talk to someone like my sister or somebody that has been through the whole process before. There's a program out there called the Transplant Ambassador Program, where you can talk to people that have donated kidneys and stuff like that, and just understand the benefits. It's all about education. Like, what are some of the benefits, and it's a big decision to make. It's not an easy decision. Like even for my sister, it took a lot of soul searching and a lot of trips down to St. Mike's to talk to the transplant team there, to educate her on the pros, and she didn't like seeing me go through dialysis, and now she was in I've had a number of surgeries over the years, and now my sister was in a position where she could actually step in and do something about it. So it took her a little bit of encouragement. Then all of a sudden she just had this epiphany saying, it's going to work out, everything's going to be fine, I'm going to be fine, Jay's going to be fine. So it helps to talk to people that have been through it before, and talk to any one of us here. Like, we're here to answer your questions at any time, and just to keep the conversation going.
Yep, good words of advice, Jay. Well, next week on Fresh Waves, we'll be having Ronnie Gavsey of the Gift of Life, Trillium Gift of Life Foundation, and she'll be answering some of the tough questions. We've had some listeners sending us messages, one who told me that they know for a fact that when you're over 60 you can't donate. And I said, well, I know for a fact that that's not a fact. Another listener who had asked or said that they didn't want to donate their spouse's organs because they wanted to be able to scatter his ashes and there wouldn't be anything left to scatter. Again, tough question. And we're going to talk about all that, all the myths and the actual way it is next week with Ronnie. And also next week we have another kidney recipient and another 2 kidney recipients and a liver recipient on the show. So again, some more heartwarming stories about people who are alive today because of organ donation. And it's a great topic. It's a difficult topic sometimes, Nancy, as I'm sure you know. I mean, kudos to you for getting up there and talking about this over and over and over again, and bringing all that pain and hurt back because you want to share the gift that your son gave. Thank you. It's a tough thing to do. And for the Boulets, Toby said to us when we talked to him 2 weeks ago, he said, if they want someone to speak about this, the Boulets will be there. And I think it's the same for you and many other people. Yeah. You're going to be there.
Definitely. It helps. It helps both ends.
It does.
Recipients and donors, families.
It does. People have said, as time goes by, the hurt goes away. And it never does. The hurt never goes away.
It never goes away.
They say if you make a little drawing of the hurt being the size of a loonie, when it first happens, the circle is right close to that loonie, and it's all encompassing. It's all part of it. The hurt doesn't go away. It stays the same size, but your circle grows larger as you go out and talk about this and share the message and make people aware of the good that it can do. So the hurt stays the same, but your circling grows. And within that circle are a lot of people who support you and a lot of people who say thank you for everything you did and for being brave enough to make the decision to save another life when your life was so ugly at that moment.
Yes, thank you for saying that.
Thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for sharing your stories.
Thanks for having us.
And I think you guys are going to leave now and go over to the Fickle Pickle. Just throwing that out there.
There you go.
All right, we're going to close off the show with one of my favorite songs. It's Johnny Reed. Today I'm going to try and change the world. If you haven't done so already, please go to beadonor.ca, sign the registry, register to be an organ donor. And hey, maybe today you're going to change the world. Thanks for listening, and we'll be back again next week on Fresh Waves. You've been listening to Fresh Waves, a Whistle FM production. I'm your host, Brenda Masson, and our technical producer is Jason Rumball. Tune in every Wednesday at 10 a.m. for Freshwaves here on Whistle FM, 102.9 on the FM dial and whistlefm.com anywhere in the world. Freshwaves is available on podcast too. Just go to whistlefm.ca or freshwaves.ca. We podcast all of the Freshwaves shows so that you can listen at your leisure. Freshwaves. It really is